Salam everyone, welcome back to Ramadan with the Sahaba. You might recognize me from last time. I'm Ahmed. Does anyone here remember the Sahaba we covered yesterday? Yep, that's right. We learned about Hamza Ibn Abdul Muttalib. Today I'm going to be covering the second part of the story. So picking up from where we left off, we can recall that Hamza radiallahu anhu publicly announced his conversion to Islam in front of the Qurayshi noblemen. However, this was in a moment of anger and left him with doubt. After several days of deep reflection and praying to Allah, he truly accepted Islam. Hamza's conversion to Islam was a sign of support from Allah. Hamza was strong in defending Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his companions, and he shielded Muslims from harm. Additionally, he was the first conversion that attracted those of many different tribes to convert. After his conversion, he devoted his life fully to Allah and to Islam. Because of this great commitment to Islam, the Prophet ﷺ honored him with the noble title, the Lion of Allah and His Messenger. It's clear to see that Hamza radiallahu anhu had a great legacy. Legacy is the theme of today's story. It means the impact somebody has due to all the things they accomplished in their life. Abu Jahl, who we can also recall as the person who sparked Hamza's conversion by hitting and verbally abusing the Prophet, was unhappy when he saw Hamza among the Muslims and believed that a war was coming, one that would be impossible to stop. As a result, he supported and prepared the Quraysh, wanting to fight deep in his heart because he was angry and bitter towards the Prophet and Hamza. So although there was relative peace for a while, the time eventually came for war. The very first Islamic conflict was led by Hamza radiallahu anhu. It was the Battle of Badr. This was also where the first banner was used, and the Prophet handed it to Hamza to wave proudly. What an honor! A banner is similar to a flag, and it showed to all of those fighting what the Muslims stood for. Hamza radiallahu anhu performed great feats in the Battle of Badr, and the Quraysh stood no chance. They stumbled back to Makkah in disappointment. Abu Sufyan, who was a prominent leader of the Quraysh and an opponent of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, was broken-hearted. He left the battlefield with his head down, leaving behind many fallen comrades, including Abu Jahl. The Quraysh had lost the battle, but they did not accept defeat easily. They continued to prepare an army and gathered all the powers at their disposal to avenge their honor and the dead. Abu Sufyan assembled all of the Quraysh and led the next conflict, the Battle of Uhud. The Qurayshi leaders were smart and decided to target two critical figures on the Muslim side, the Prophet ﷺ and Hamza radiallahu anhu. They realized that they could not beat the Muslims with such strong leadership. Before the Battle of Uhud, they chose Hamza as the target. The Qurayshi leaders plotted, thinking of a way to dispose him. They picked an Abyssinian slave to focus on Hamza, because he had the most amazing skills in spear throwing. It was extraordinary. He would never miss. The Abyssinian's name was Wahshi. Abyssinia is actually nowadays known as Ethiopia. So the Qurayshi leaders promised Wahshi his freedom if he killed Hamza radiallahu anhu, and told him that his only role in the battle would be to hit Hamza with the spear. This just highlights how much of an important figure Hamza was in the Islamic world. The Quraysh wanted him gone above all else. The leaders put all of their trust in Wahshi and sent him to Hind bint Utbah, Abu Sufyan's wife, for even more encouragement. Hind lost her father, uncle, brother, and son in the previous battle, and she suspected it was due to Hamza. Because of this, she hated Hamza radiallahu anhu with a passion and wanted revenge at any cost. She was even the most enthusiastic of the Quraysh to escalate the war with the Muslims. Hind spent days before the upcoming battle, just pouring all of her rage into Wahshi. She filled his heart with ideas and plans, promising him the most precious jewelry if he killed Hamza. With her hateful fingers, Hind held pearl earrings and several gold necklaces around her neck. She looked at Wahshi and said, "All of these are yours if you kill Hamza." Wahshi's mouth started to water with the offer. He yearned for the upcoming battle and wanted to win his freedom. There is an important message here. As Muslims, we should never forget our morals. You might notice it yourself in school. Some of your friends use bad language because it makes them feel cool, words that you know your parents don't like. They keep asking you over and over again to join in and swear, but you have to stay strong. And remember your Muslim values. We should never trade these values, even if someone like Hind offers you all the fortune in the world. The day of the Battle of Uhud finally arrived, and the two armies met. Hamza stood in the middle of the battlefield, wearing his battle attire. He seemed unstoppable. He was everywhere in the fight, striking down the Qurayshi soldiers with ease. Nobody could touch him. Victory was near certain, and the Qurayshi army started to retreat. However, as the Muslims were about to win, the archers left their critical positions. They were protecting the Muslim soldiers from the back, and without them, the Muslims were exposed. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happened, and the remaining Qurayshi soldiers directed a surprise attack from behind the Muslims. The Muslims had to quickly return to their position, picking up the weapons they had just dropped down. The attack was violent, and the Quraysh were fighting with power that surprised the Muslims. Hamza radiallahu anhu saw the rapid shift in power and redoubled his efforts, increasing his strength and speed of attacks. All the while, Wahshi was quietly watching Hamza, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The time came for Wahshi. He saw that Hamza was preoccupied with another enemy, so he took his spear, shook it, and threw it with all his might. The spear struck Hamza, and in just a few moments, he died. So that's how the line of Allah and His Messenger, Hamza radiallahu anhu, died as a martyr. It took an army to defeat him, and the Quraysh had to sacrifice all their men and money to take him down. Once the battle ended, the Quraysh rode their camels back to Makkah. The Prophet ﷺ and his companions examined the battlefield to look for their fallen comrades. The Prophet looked at the body of his uncle and foster brother, Hamza radiallahu anhu, and said, "I will never have a worse loss in my life than yours." Once again, we can see how strong and close the relationship between Hamza and the Prophet truly was. Although Hamza radiallahu anhu was gone, his legacy was so great that he impacted people even after his death. The Prophet and the companions were so angry at Hamza's death that they were planning on seeking revenge against the Quraysh. However, in that exact moment, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ received a revelation from Allah. The following ayah was received: "Call mankind to the way of your Lord with wisdom and sound advice, and reason with them in a well-mannered way. Indeed, your Lord is well aware of those who have gone astray from Him, and He is aware of those who are guided. And if you retaliate, let your retaliation be to the extent that you were afflicted. But if you are patient, it will certainly be best." This ayah is now in Surah An-Nahl, the 16th chapter of the Quran. It might sound a little complicated, but it basically says that we should learn justice and mercy, even in situations where we really want revenge. This was the greatest honor Hamza radiallahu anhu received, a revelation of the Quran in relation to his death. So now, the next time somebody steals your ball at lunch, try not to get revenge. You should seek to be as strong and brave as Hamza radiallahu anhu, but we also need to remember the ayah that was revealed to the Prophet. We should forgive when we can, and it's not a sign of weakness. It's actually harder to forgive than to get revenge. So no matter how strong you are, forgive the person who stole your ball. Maybe you can ask them to play with you in a new game. You could even turn them into a friend. That's the end of today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Ramadan with the Sahaba. See you all later.